And now Mrs. Robinson will make her first speech as President of Ireland.
Uachtaran Nuhaf and Hayden, Marvik Roby.
Agini Ushla, citizens of Ireland, Manona Heron, Agus Firna Heron, you have chosen me to represent you, and I am humbled and grateful for your trust. The Ireland I will be representing is a new Ireland, open, tolerant, inclusive. Many of you who voted for me did so without sharing all my views. This, I believe, is a significant signal of change, a sign, however modest, that we have already passed the threshold to a new pluralist Ireland. The recent revival of the old concept of the fifth province expresses this emerging Ireland of tolerance and empathy. The old Irish term for province is ceochad, meaning a fifth, and yet, as everyone knows, there are only 4 geographical provinces on this island. So where is the fifth? The fifth province is not anywhere here or there, north or south, east or west. It is a place within each one of us, that place that is open to the other, that swinging door which allows us to venture out and others to venture in. Ancient legends divided Ireland into 4 quarters and a middle, although they differed about the location of this middle or fifth province. While Tara was the political centre of Ireland, tradition has it that this fifth province acted as a second centre, a necessary balance. If I am to be a symbol of anything, I would like to be a symbol of this reconciling and healing fifth province. My primary role as President will be to represent this state. But the state is not the only model of community with which Irish people can and do identify. Beyond our state, there is a vast community of Irish emigrants, extending not only across our neighbouring island, which has provided a home away from home for several Irish generations, but also throughout the continents of North America, Australia, and of course Europe itself. There are over 70 million people living on this globe who claim Irish descent. I will be proud to represent them. And I would like to see Áras an Uachtaráin, my official residence, serve on something of an annual basis as a place where our emigrant communities could send representatives for a get-together of the extended Irish family abroad. There is another level of community which I will represent, not just the national, not just the global, but the local community. Within our state, there are a growing number of local and regional communities determined to express their own creativity, identity, heritage and initiative in new and exciting ways. In my travels around Ireland, I have found local community groups thriving on a new sense of self-confidence and self-empowerment. Whether it was groups concerned with adult education, employment initiative, women's support, local history and heritage, environmental concern, or community culture, one of the most enriching discoveries was to witness the extent of this local empowerment at work. As President, I will seek, to the best of my abilities, to promote this growing sense of local participatory democracy, this emerging movement of self-development and self-expression, which is surfacing more and more at grassroots level. This is the face of modern Ireland. But waith le mará, go bhfuair mé tainmh agus pléisiúr as an tastal a rinne mé le míosa anuas ar fuid na hÉireann. is fear all-in agus iontach an tír atá gin, agus is all-in an pobl iad winter na hÉireann. Fuair mé tactaracht ón bobl seo, agus mé ag dal timpeall. Tastíonn uachtarán uainn gur bhéidir linn bheith brodúil aistí, ach níos mó ná sin, gur bhéidir linn bheith brodúil lena chéile, tuis gur éireannach sin, agus go bhfuil tradiisiún agus cultúr all-in a gin. Is cud an tágtacht don gúltúir sin an chéilge, an teanga bheo, fé mar atá láirt sa ghéaltacht agus ag duine eile ar fuid na hÉireann. Tá aistear eile le déanamh inise agam, aistear cultúrtha, leis an severas iontach atá sa teanga géalge a bhaint amach díom féin. Tá súlagam go leanaí duine eile mé, atá ar man nós féin, beagán as clachta sa géalge, agus go raibh ar aig le héile, le tainmh agus pléisiúr a all ar our deanga all-in féin. The best way we can contribute to a new integrated Europe of the 90s is by having a confident sense of our Irishness. Here again, we must play to our strengths, take full advantage of our vibrant cultural resources in music, art, drama, literature and film, value the role of our educators, promote and preserve our unique environmental and geographical resources of relatively pollution-free lakes, rivers, landscapes and seas, encourage and publicly support local initiative projects in agriculture, forestry, fishing, alternative energy and small-scale technology. Looking outwards from Ireland, I would like, on your behalf, to contribute to the international protection and promotion of human rights. One of our greatest national resources has always been, and still is, our ability to serve as a moral and political conscience in world affairs. We have a long history of providing spiritual, cultural and social assistance to other countries in need, most notably in Latin America, Africa and other third world countries. And we can continue to promote these values by taking principled and independent stands on issues of international importance. As the elected president of this small democratic country, I assume office at a vital moment in Europe's history. Ideological boundaries that have separated East from West are withering away at an astounding pace. Eastern countries are seeking to participate as full partners in a restructured and economically buoyant Europe. The stage is set for a new common European home based on respect for human rights, pluralism, tolerance and openness to new ideas. The European Convention on Human Rights, one of the most finest achievements of the Council of Europe, is asserting itself as the natural constitution for the new Europe. These developments have created one of the major challenges for the 90s. If it is time, as Joyce's Stephen Dedalus remarked, that the Irish began to forge in the smithy of our souls the uncreated conscience of our race, might we not also take on the still uncreated conscience of the wider international community? Is it not time that the small started believing again that it is beautiful, that the periphery can rise up and speak out on equal terms with the centre, that the most outlying island community of the European community really has something strange and precious to contribute to the sea change presently sweeping through the entire continent of Europe? As a native of Ballina, one of the most western towns in the most western province of the most western nation in Europe, I want to say the West's awake. turn now to another place close to my heart, Northern Ireland. As the elected choice of the people of this part of our island, I want to extend the hand of friendship and of love to both communities in the other part. And I want to do this with no hidden agenda, no strings attached. As the person chosen by you to symbolise this republic and to project our self-image to others, I will seek to encourage mutual understanding and tolerance between all the different communities sharing this island. In seeking to do this, I shall rely to a large extent on symbols. But symbols are what unite and divide people. Symbols give us our identity, our self-image, our way of explaining ourselves to ourselves and to others. Symbols, in turn, determine the kinds of stories we tell. And the stories we tell determine the kind of history we make and remake. I want Áras an Uachtaráin to be a place where people can tell diverse stories, in the knowledge that there is someone there to listen. I want this presidency to promote the telling of stories, stories of celebration through the arts, and stories of conscience and of social justice. As a woman, I want women who have felt themselves outside history to be written back into history. In the words of Ivan Boland, finding a voice where they have found a vision. May God direct me so that my presidency is one of justice, peace and love. May I have the fortune to preside over an Ireland at a time of exciting transformation, when we enter a new Europe, where old wounds can be healed, a time when, in the words of Seamus Heaney, hope and history rhyme. May it be a presidency where I, the President, can sing to you, citizens of Ireland, the joyous refrain of the 14th century Irish poet, as recalled by W.B. Yeats. I am of Ireland. Come dance with me in Ireland. Gur míle maith agaibh go léir.
An chéad ehas go Uachtaráin na Luan na Héireann Maireann Róibín. Tá tradiisiún agus cultúr álainneagan idir sí, cuid antábhachtach é an Gaeilge a labhtar sa Gaeltacht agus náitina eile an fud na tíre. Inis an Rosc náisiúnta.